Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining today's webinar, How to Attract New Business with Facebook. I'm Gloria Rand, a SEO copywriter, and I'm your presenter for today's event. Before we get started, while we're still having a few people join us, I just wanted to review a few housekeeping items and tell you how to participate in today's webinar. As you see here, here's the control panel for the webinar, and you can, if you click on the orange arrow up here, up at the top of your screen, that's where you can open and close the panel. And from the view menu here, you can also set the control panel to stay open if you prefer. And then, of course, here's the audio mode. The audio pane indicates whether you're listening to the webinar with mic and speakers on your computer or if you decide to call in with the telephone. And if you haven't done so already, please make sure that you have clicked on audio setup to make sure that you are listening to the webinar through your computer speaker or a headset device. Now, during the presentation, you will be able to send questions to the webinar staff through the questions pane here. You simply type in your question and click send. And I may also ask you to answer a question by raising your hand, and you'll find that little guy right up there. So also, if you do have a question, you can also raise your hand as well, and I'll try to get to it during the session as we go. But if not, for sure, at the end of the presentation, there will be time for a Q&A session to answer as many questions as we have time for. Also, just as a final reminder, today's webinar is going to be recorded. It is being recorded right now, and everyone will receive an email within 24 hours with a link to view a recording of today's event. Okay, so once again, welcome. My name is Gloria Rand, and I'm a former writer and producer for the public television news program Nightly Business Report. But over the last few years, I've helped dozens of clients grow their business by using the latest search engine optimization techniques and social media marketing trends, including the management of Facebook business pages. So let's get started right to it. Here's kind of an overview of what I'm going to cover today. Basically, why your business should be on Facebook, looking at a marketing strategy, how do you go about building followers for your Facebook page, and of course, the more all-important, how do you generate leads and sales. Now, before we get started, I would like to just do a quick poll here, if we could, and just find out how many people actually currently have a Facebook page right now. So if you could click on there for me, if you can see that screen. Let's see here. Okay. Let's see, give you a few more seconds. Almost everyone's voted. Okay, so it looks like yeah, the majority of you already do have a page, so I presume that you're probably just trying to get some better ideas of how to utilize your page. So, all right, great. I appreciate that, and we'll get started here now. Okay, there we go. So, why do you want to be on Facebook? Well, as I'm sure you all know, it's got over 500 million people are on it now. I mean, the growth has just been phenomenal. I mean, I gave a presentation earlier this year when it was at 400 million, and just in the about 6 months' time, it has just mushroomed. It's incredible. But what I find even more significant is the fact that half of those people are logging in every day. So to kind of put that in perspective, if you think of it, Walmart, which is the country's largest retailer, they're getting 20 million visitors per day. But Facebook has 250 million people. So it's, there's no reason why your business can't tap into at least part of that audience. So another reason, of course, to be on Facebook is to create brand awareness and foster customer loyalty. Pepsi does a great job of this. I mean, each month they give away money to deserving people and organizations, and they do this by encouraging people to submit requests for grants and then have their Facebook fans vote for them. So in addition, the more I'm sorry. So this is a good example of why, even though Pepsi is a huge corporation, there's no reason why even small business owners can't take advantage of that. Now, another reason, of course, to be on Facebook is the fact that it's going to drive people back to your website, and that is going to help your ranking on Google. So it's definitely something that you want to keep in mind, and it's a good reason to be out there. Now, before you kind of know the why, but let's really start getting into the how. So setting up a marketing strategy. The first thing that you need to do is you've got to set your goals, because if you set up a Facebook page and you don't have a plan for it, you're liable to just waste a lot of time. So you need to decide what you hope to gain from having a page. Do you want leads? Is it sales? Is it brand awareness? Any of these are good reasons. But it's just important to have a plan in place, because that's actually going to guide you in the type of content that you're going to share. Now, the second part of your marketing strategy is going to be to figure out how to provide value. Now, here's an example from a company. They've got a website called momswhosave.com, and they're sharing on their Facebook page, information about stores. They're offering good deals on products and services, and other online sources for coupons. So that's a great way for them to offer value. But it also brings me to mind is that on your Facebook page, you don't want to sell. Okay? Instead, what you want to do is you want to tell them something worthwhile, because when someone comes to visit your page, they want to know what's in it for me. So you've got to give them something of value so that they're going to want to come back again. And then part of that is the next part of the strategy is you've got to figure out how to engage your audience. So this is really the key ingredient to having a successful Facebook page. The more you can engage with potential customers, the more they're going to come to know you and trust you. And we all know that that's who people do business with, those that they know and trust. So here's an example from Sears where they're asking people to take a quiz to figure out their home theme song. So it's a great way. Anytime that you can do something like this, asking people questions, and that's going to get them engaged in your page. Now, the fourth part of your Facebook marketing strategy involves destination. Where do you want people to go after they visit your page? Do you want them to go to your website? Do you want them to go to your blog? Or maybe you have a store, like Best Buy here. They're making it very easy for people to find a store near them. So you do need to keep that in mind with your Facebook page. Now, the next part is time management. Now, it's real important to decide how much time you want to spend on Facebook, because as we all know, it's very easy to get sucked into playing games and chatting with friends. But for your business, you really need to figure out how much time you can afford to spend and still handle the rest of your day-to-day activities. And one way to handle this is with our next item here, which is to have a page administrator. If you have someone in your company who can dedicate a few hours a day to monitoring your page and posting comments, that's the ideal. Now, of course, if you're a solo business owner, and I think that we have quite a few of you on the webinar today, you're going to have to handle this yourself. And, of course, that kind of presents a problem, because I know myself as a solo business owner that you've already got, a lot of hats that you have to wear in your business. And so if you have to spend time on Facebook posting content, you've got to be real careful about not getting distracted by posts from your friends, for instance, because, before you know it, a couple of hours have passed by and you've missed that appointment or sales call that you were supposed to make. I'm going to take a quick break here for a second, because I know I've kind of gone through a lot of stuff, and just to see if anybody has any questions right now. if you want to maybe either raise your hand or if we're good.
I have a few. Can you hear me, Gloria?
Oh, let's see. Looks like somebody has a question.
Gloria, can you hear me?
Still a little new at managing this. Hang on. Okay. Okay. Whoops. Sorry.
Gloria, I'm on the call. Can you
My
hear
first
me?
time using GoToWebinar, so bear with me here. Okay. Yeah, I think it looks like. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can't. Okay. Yeah, I can't hear you. I guess someone's asking a question about either is it being Facebook is kind of the next thing to go on. I mean, yeah, I think it's definitely, you definitely want to consider, because it is where a lot of people, you know, like I said, you know, 250 million people are on there every single day, so it's definitely where you want to be. And oh, and you know what? I'm sorry, operator error here. Okay. Yeah, go ahead. I think I've got my volume on now. I apologize.
Can you hear me, Gloria?
Yes, I can. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's okay. No, it's going to help you with the questions. I was going through some of the questions.
Okay.
So what is the first question? I wasn't paying attention. What's the question that you dealt with just now?
The one about, you know, if Facebook really is the place to be now.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't read that. Can't open the pane very wide, so sorry about this. All right. Well,
no, he mentioned that in the beginning it was yellow pages where people advertise a lot in the yellow pages, and then came Google and the internet, and now we're talking Facebook. And
right.
he's, you know, his question to you is how important or how big is Facebook right now?
Right. Well, like I said, I mean, I think it's huge. It's just, that's, you know, the thing that everybody's talking about. And now, will it last? You know, that's the what is it, the $64 question. You know, a few years ago MySpace was the big thing, you know, and now currently Facebook is. But I think basically you've got to go where your audience is, and if your target market is on Facebook, then that's where you want to be. I think I tell you what, let's see if we can take maybe one more question, then I'll jump back in here. Do you have one other one there?
Sure. Alan was asking, how do you find these great websites that you're posting right now, like Sears and Pepsi and all of those?
Well, some of it is just, you know, searching on myself and just going through Facebook, and then also you know, because I want to continually, you know, educate myself, I'm attending webinars that other people are doing on Facebook, and finding out, you know, you just have to try to keep up with things. And, you know, social media especially, you know, it kind of changes, you know, almost every day there's something new, so I'm continually trying to educate myself, and so that I can keep on top of things for my clients. And so that's kind of what you have to do. You've got to do a lot of reading and poking around in Facebook and see what's out there.
Okay. Well,
right.
John says, go Gloria. And there are a few more questions, but we'll post those a little bit later.
Okay. All right. Okay. So let's see. Let's get in here now. All right. Let's get to how do we build followers. Okay. So the key to building your audience is to share quality, relevant content daily. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to have to be on Facebook every hour of the day, but if you can commit to posting at least once or twice a day and do it consistently, then people will start looking for your content. They're going to start expecting it, and especially if it's useful and engaging. So this is an example from my own page. What I like to do is I post quotations, and then I put articles from my own blog I'll share with folks, and then also I'll put articles about social media and, you know, search engine optimization that I find from other sources. Social Media Examiner is a great resource. I definitely would highly recommend you check them out. So it's, you know, it's good to be able to share other resources, because, you know, then people are going to realize, you know, it's not all about you. You know, you don't know everything, and I'm the first to admit that. So I'm going to always want to find other information that I can share, you know, with my followers on Facebook and my clients. Now, another type of content that you're going to want to include are videos and photos and run contests and games, and this type of material is really wonderful at fostering engagement from your audience. Share video and photos of your products or the events that you participate in, and actually photos get shared the most on Facebook. So videos for some reason work better on Twitter. I don't know why, but definitely if you've got photos, put them out there on Facebook. And actually, making it fun for people with contests and games, this is actually one of the most effective strategies, because according to Forrester research, brands that run contests have 50% more followers than those who don't. So what I've got on the screen here right now is actually an example from a company based here in Orlando, where I live, and they run contests every week. So her fans have come to expect that, and out of the blue, they share photos. They've got videos, and in fact, this YouTube video is actually talking about the contest winner. So she's really doing a great job of building her audience and and being able to sell her products to her clients. Now, another way to attract followers is with promotions and discounts. Now, you may have been wondering, and also when you saw the Sears one earlier, this is actually an example of a custom landing page that you can create on your Facebook page, and I'm going to talk more about that in a little bit. But for now, I just want to concentrate on the content here, and what Dairy Queen is offering here is they're giving away a coupon for their Blizzard products. So, this is a great idea, especially if you can offer a special promotion just for your Facebook followers, because that's going to give them more incentive to follow you if they're getting something exclusive. So, and another thing that DQ is doing effectively here is they're also capturing their email addresses from their followers. So, even though everyone, seems like everyone's on Facebook, we still check our email every day. So this is going to be a great way for them to be able to use that information and market then to their followers. They're going to be able to email them directly. So it's great to be able to combine the two. Now this, ideally, what you're going to want to do is you want to try to mix all of these components on your page. So this is an example from Levi's. They're doing a lot of different things here. Up at the top, they've got an event that they were sponsoring in New York City. Then they're taking a poll, does the perfect pair of jeans exist? And, then they're asking, a question right below that. Where did you find your favorite pair of jeans? And if you look here in the fine print here, it's where it says view feedback right underneath that. They've had 3,000 people answering that question. I mean, can you imagine that? And then down below they're posting a video, and this was looks like a clip from the Ellen Show when they were talking about their new fit system. So now I know it may seem like a lot, but also if you take notice of the dates here, they didn't do all of this on one day. This was actually over about a week's worth almost of postings. So it's you do it over a series of days, posting a variety of info, and that's going to be great. Now, if you're wondering where do you find content to share, now here's a few suggestions for you. I mentioned earlier about if you have your own blog or other industry blogs are a good source. Another excellent resource is a website called Smart Brief. Now, this company has more than 100 newsletters from a variety of industries. So, for instance, if you sell pet products, you can have a pet industry newsletter emailed to you, and then you'll be able to use some of those articles from that on your Facebook page. Another source for content is StumbleUpon. This website has, I don't know if you're familiar with it, but they offer, they've got lots of websites and blogs that are geared to your personal preferences. And then Alltop is another resource. They collect headlines of the latest stories from the best sites and blogs on the internet that are covering a particular topic. And then, of course, we all know a great source for video is naturally YouTube. So now that we've kind of covered, what you should post, let's talk a little bit about some tools that you can use to really create your page and engage your audience as well as hopefully save you some time. Now, all of these are 3 apps that you can use to create customized Facebook tabs for your page. So now why do you want a customized page? Well, remember those slides I showed you earlier from Sears and Best Buy and Dairy Queen? Well, those are all custom pages. So what that does is essentially you're kind of turning your Facebook page into an extension of your website. And you can create essentially as many custom tabs as you want. Now, I've used static FBML, this top one here myself first. It's like Facebook's version of HTML, which is that crazy code the web designers use to create a website. And you can learn some basic codes by searching on Google, but it can be time-consuming to do if you don't really have the knack for that kind of work. And one thing is, I do want to mention, if you are going to create a customized page, at least one that you should definitely consider doing is a custom welcome page, because this is going to be a page that all new visitors to your site would see first before going to your wall. So this is your opportunity to explain what your business is all about, what information a visitor can expect to find on your Facebook page maybe, or you can put like photos, your logo, a video on it. Essentially the only limit is your imagination and your technical knowledge. Now this is an example of a page that I actually created for one of my clients, and this is, again, I used the static FPML. So I put pictures from it, I included links, like where it mentions in the middle here, signature events, outdoor celebrations. Those are going to take people directly to his website actually, so they'll be able to get some more information about his services. So I do want to mention real quick too, though, is if you do decide to use static FBML for your Facebook page, you need to get it set up before the end of this year, because I've read that Facebook isn't going to support this app next year. So if you wait to do it, then you're definitely going to have to hire a web designer to help you with that. Now, some other options for creating custom pages are, this middle one here is this welcome tab for pages. I did a little research on them. They actually charge for the service, so I'm not really sure. I haven't heard too much about that. I'm not sure how good that is. You'd probably have to do your own homework on that one. And then the bottom one is a tab site, and this has free and pay options. The free option provides a welcome tab plus 2 subpages, so it really looks like a website, and I'll show you here. This is an example of one that I found, and you can see they have all these different tabs like current promotions, photo gallery, YouTube, Twitter, so they're paying extra to get that information. So as you can see, it really does, it kind of makes it look just like a website. Now, some other apps that you might want to use to engage your audience are, especially if you decide to hold a contest or a promotion on your page, you need to, I'd strongly consider using one of these Facebook approved apps, because Facebook has some pretty stringent rules about running contests. So for instance, if you decide to have a photo contest where a follower has to upload a photo to enter, Facebook actually requires that you have to do it through a third-party app. And also, you can't just allow users to enter the contest automatically just by becoming a fan of your page. So instead, you can only allow fans of your page to access the tab that contains the third-party app. So it's a little confusing, but if you use these apps, and it's going to make your life a little bit easier so you don't get into trouble with Facebook. We don't want that. Now, another app to engage your audience is, I don't know how many of you online right now use Constant Contact for your email marketing. If you do, you can add an opt-in box directly to your Facebook page. So it gets added as another tab called Join My List, and I'll show you what that looks like. So you see here's another tab. This is right from her her Facebook page, and you've got the nice big box here, so it's a great way to be able to capture an email address from your Facebook followers. Now, one great thing is that Constant Contact actually, they just recently upgraded this feature, so now you can add custom text above the opt-in box. So what I was able to do here is I send out a monthly e-newsletter, and I can tell people, you know, just exactly what to expect when they sign up to receive it. So the one downside about Constant Contact that, as far as I've been able to tell, is that you can't add it to a custom landing page. So if you don't use Constant Contact, if you have some other provider and you want to add an opt-in box on like your welcome page, then you are going to probably have a web designer do it for you, unless you can find something on Google that somebody's figured out how to do it. I've been searching. I haven't found that yet, but I'm sure somebody will crack the code and come up with it. All right, so I know I'm really going through a lot of things. Maybe can we take another break and see if anybody has any questions right now?
You have a ton of questions.
Ton of questions, okay.
I'm going to unmute some people and let them ask a question. I have
Okay.
JR that has a question. I'm going to unmute him. Okay, JR, you're unmuted.
Hey, Gloria, great webinar today. I was going to ask you, how important is having tabs with Facebook? Is there more participation engagement?
Well, like I said, I would say that I think there is. I think as long as you're, depending on the type of content that you're having on those tabs, you know, because you're going to want to, there's different things that you can use on there, and we're going to kind of go into that a little bit more in a couple minutes here. But you know, you can share like your blog. You can, if you have like a YouTube channel, you know, that can be a tab so people can see your YouTube videos. So I would say, you know, the more information kind of that you can have up there of things that will get your followers involved, the better. You know, I mean, you may not want to overwhelm, and there are some aspects of things that I know, well, especially like on personal profiles, some of the tabs are going away. So that's why when you do have a business page, if you can, you know, put different categories up there for people to see with different information. Just keep in mind it's got to be something that's going to be relevant for them and something useful for the follower. So keep that in mind, because you know you want to have, like I said, it's got to be, you know, something good for them, that a value that they're going to appreciate. Hope that answers it. Do we have another question?
Oh, yeah, you have a lot of them.
Okay.
Let me see who's next on the list. Okay, Robin Ritchie has a question. Robin, I'm going to unmute you. You should be unmuted right now. Robin, are you there? We can't hear you, Robin. Maybe she has her microphone on mute.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You could type it in the, maybe in the chat box or something.
Yeah. Okay, I'll go for somebody else. See who else has a question. I have Francis that has a question. And Francis, you're unmuted right now.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Yeah, Gloria, I have a personal Facebook page, but I have not set up yet a business page on Facebook. So what I'm looking at right now, that's an example of what might be a business page.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and I know I actually was just speaking with someone yesterday who's in the same boat as you. They have a personal page that they've actually kind of been using for their business, and they don't have a business page. But I would recommend getting the business page, only because you can do so much more with it, because you can create these custom tabs, and it really does give you a little bit more functionality than just having the personal page.
Yeah, one of the things that I was trying to think about, because obviously my personal one is in my personal name, but but the company one would be in the company name. And so I'm just wondering, how can I would love to shift people who have gotten onto my personal page, shift them out of my personal area and over to the business area. So what's a graceful way of
graceful way
that?
to do that? Well, I would say there's a couple different ways you can do that. Depending, you can certainly suggest your page to them, because there's a way to do that right on when you created your page. You'll be able to click on this little thing. It comes, I think it's like right below the picture of either your logo or your picture on that page, and then you can suggest to them and tell them that you can, if you have their email addresses, you might just want to go ahead and send an email to them and just say, hey, I've started a new business page. You could post that on your personal wall and say, I've got a new business page. Would you please, go ahead and check it out. So just a couple different ways. It'll probably take a little bit to get it going, but everybody's familiar with it now. It shouldn't be too much trouble.
I had heard somewhere at one time that the business pages, that's what you call a fan page?
Right. Yeah. They don't call them fan pages anymore. Now they're business pages.
Oh, okay. Now, do they have photos also, the way that your personal one does? And
yeah, you can post photos. You can have a photo as your logo.
I meant like the friends, where you can go from friend to friend.
Well, I'm not quite sure I understand. So,
yeah, I had, like on personal ones, you can click on the picture of your friend and it'll go to their wall or to their thing, and so you can see other people's stuff. You can connect that way on the personal world.
Right.
But I'd heard that on the fan pages or the business pages, that capability is not there.
Well, I think I know what you're talking about, and we're going to actually cover that in a little bit shortly.
Okay.
I think I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, and yeah, we're going to get there. So
thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. All right.
Okay, do you have time for one more question, or you want to go on?
Let's see here. I think we can. Well, let's do one more. I think we'll do one more.
Okay. I have Jenny that has her hand up. So Jenny, I'm going to unmute you. Jenny, you're unmuted. Hello?
Can you turn down your stereo or whatever?
I muted her back out.
Oh, well.
I don't know. Okay, I don't see any more. We have a question box, so I think we do that
Okay.
at the end.
All right. Let's get going. All right. So let's see.
Muted.
Administer your Facebook page yourself. Here are a couple tools that are going to make your life a heck of a lot easier. The first one is Hootsuite here. This is great because it allows you to schedule your posts ahead of time. So actually up to a year in advance if you want. And you can post directly, it allows you to post directly to your Facebook profile, your personal profile, to your Facebook page, and other social networking sites like Twitter and LinkedIn. And then another one is TweetDeck, and as you can kind of guess from the name, this one is really geared for Twitter, but does let you schedule posts to Facebook in advance too. The one downside to TweetDeck, though, is that you have to limit your posts to 140 characters, just like with Twitter. Excuse me. But Hootsuite will let you write longer posts than that. So these are some really good time-saving tools for you. Now, when you do create a Facebook page, as you, of course, a lot of you probably already have this, you've probably seen this, that you get this really long web address or what's called a URL. And the one here is actually, this was one of my clients that I've done some SEO work before, and it's way too long and impossible for anyone to remember. So there is good news, is that once you get 25 followers, you can actually customize your this URL, the web address. So what you'll do is you'll go to facebook.com/username, and then it'll give you a little box where you can plug in a name of whatever you want to use, and if it hasn't been used already, then you're all set. So for instance, here is one that I was thinking is that my client might want to change the name of his page to, Sage Divorce Planning, because that's essentially the name of his company. So keep that in mind, especially because then if you want to share this information, if you want to have it like in your emails or on your website, this is going to be a much simpler, cleaner link for you to use. All right, now we're going to kind of get definitely in the nitty-gritty here of how do you generate leads and sales from Facebook. So one great way to do this is to ask questions. So as often as you can, when you're posting, try to ask a question. It's a great way to engage your followers. It enables you to start a dialogue with them so you can find out what they need so that you can provide the solution. Because as I said before, this is social networking. It's about establishing trust, and people are going to do business with those that they like and trust. But one thing to keep in mind as you're posting is to keep it brief. Facebook has a limit of 420 characters, which is quite a bit better than Twitter's 140, but again, we know people have short attention spans, so you're better off keeping your posts short, to the point, unless you are already engaged in a dialogue, and then it's okay. Now, if you're wondering when to post, I know I get this a lot. For the best visibility, it should be in high traffic times. Like say between 9 in the morning and till 2 in the afternoon. But there's a big if here. If your audience isn't on Facebook, then obviously you're going to need to post at a different time. So let's say that you've got a product that you're trying to sell to teachers. Well, obviously this time is not going to work for them because they're in school during those hours. So for that audience, you're going to want to post maybe in the early morning hours and again in the late afternoon and evening when you know that they're going to be on their computers. And this is an instance then where Hootsuite would come in handy, because then you can actually specify not only the date but the time of day of when your posts are going to go through. And also too is in case that you've got, maybe you're selling products, you've got a website that you just sell products through, and you can sell them to anybody in the world. So then you're going to want to have something go on in the early morning hours when someone over in Europe or Japan is going to be seeing it. So keep that in mind. Now, another key to generating leads and sales is to respond promptly when someone comments on your page. This is an example from an Orlando area barbecue sauce company called Sweet Life, and one of their customers, they posted a comment about their sauce, and Sweet Life, as you see here, they were able to respond back within 3 minutes. I mean, that's pretty remarkable. But it's probably also where a smartphone will come in handy, because if you have it set up where you get emails to your phone, then you're going to be notified when someone posts on your page, and you're going to be able to respond to it. Now, if you can't always do with that fast, don't panic. That's okay. But at least try to get within the hour and at best, and at the worst, at least that same day, because then your followers are going to appreciate that you are paying attention to them and you're responding to them. Now, I should point out, if this does sound a little overwhelming, remember, this is where a page administrator can come in handy, because this is kind of like the type of work I do for my clients, is that I can handle, monitoring the page for comments and respond when necessary, so that you as maybe as the business owner, you'll be able to have time for other things because you're not having to worry so much about constantly monitoring Facebook. Now, you can also generate good rapport with your audience so that they want to do business with you by using their names. And you can tag them, and to do this, you type the @ symbol before their name, and what's great about this is that it enables their name to show up not only on, of course, your newsfeed, but it's going to show up on theirs as well. So that now their friends are going to see your post, and they might get curious about you and check out your page. So as you see below here, that the names highlighted in blue, those are the ones that were tagged. And if someone clicks on those names, they'll actually go directly to this person's personal page. Now, quick tip here is that only personal profiles can post directly to a page. If you want your page to actually comment on another page, the only way to do it is by tagging the name of the page here. So for instance, if I wanted to, as my page, I wanted to post on the Creating Your Masterpiece page, I would have to say @Creating Your Masterpiece, and then it would show up there. Now, don't go overboard on the tagging, because sometimes that could backfire on you and people might wind up blocking you for being pushy. You don't want that. Now, from time to time, you also want to thank your fans. Tell them how much you value them. Maybe if you hit a milestone number where suddenly you've got 250 fans or 500 fans, thank that fan, tag him so that they feel appreciated. Because we all want to feel appreciated. So it's about establishing that rapport with your audience. Now, also, don't be afraid to go off topic once in a while. It's okay to share something personal. What you want to do is keep in mind the 80-20 rule. Your page should be 80% business and then 20% personal. And then the flip side is going to apply to your personal profile, because there you want it to be 80% personal and then 20% business, because it's only natural to want to share news about your work life on your personal page. And very important here is to remember to be positive, because if you want to complain, maybe do it on your personal page, but even then, you might not want to do that. But definitely don't do it on your business page. A positive outlook goes a long way, and it's going to make people want to share your information if they see that you're a positive influence. Now, another useful tool that businesses don't always take advantage of, and this is another tab that you can have. It's the discussion tab. This is where you can encourage your followers to post questions here that you can answer. So that's a great resource. And you might even have as well, maybe encourage your followers to, maybe your customers have some good ideas about maybe a different way to use your product, maybe that someone hasn't thought of before. If they post it on the discussion board, it's going to get, maybe other people then are going to comment, and that's what you want. What you really want is you want to envision your Facebook page as like a community. You want to try to make it a place that people want to go and visit every day. So the discussion tab is a great thing for that. Now, the last strategy I want to share that also is great at getting leads and sales on Facebook is advertising. Now, I know, the thing about Facebook that we like is that it doesn't cost anything to, to set up a page, except, maybe some time. But beyond that, but to advertise, it really is inexpensive. And what's great is that you can actually narrow down your target audience kind of beyond the normal demographics of like location, male or female, and age. So as you can see here, you can actually specify likes and interests and relationship status. So, let's say that you're a photographer. You can select women between the ages of 25 and 45 that are interested in wedding planning and are engaged. So I did this little search, and you can see there's only over 10,000 women on Facebook in the U.S. who meet that criteria. So that's, a great way to be able to narrow it down. So now you just have to decide how much you want to spend per day. And I believe you can spend as little as $1 to advertise on Facebook. So, and then you just set a time limit. So it's, it's similar to similar to like pay-per-click advertising on Google, but I think it's a little bit more cost-effective actually than Google, and I think you'll get really good benefits out of it. So to summarize, why do you want to be on Facebook? Well, it's a really effective way to market, especially for small businesses, because it lets you level the playing field with the big corporations. You can have just a nice Facebook page, as any of the people like Pepsi and Disney and whatnot. And to build followers, it's all about content, and putting it out there consistently every day. And to generate sales and leads, you've got to engage your audience. So, do contests, post photos and videos, and try to ask questions. Try to get people to engage with you, and eventually you're going to see some good results from it. All right, so I know we've got tons of questions, right? So let's go ahead and see if we can't answer some more questions. We've got a few more minutes left here.
Okay, we don't have that many hands up, but I have questions here, so I'm just going to go down the list. We have a question from JR again, and this is actually an old question from all the way in the beginning. How much do page administrators usually get compensated?
Well, I think anywhere. I was looking actually on this. It's anywhere from $25,000 a year, on up, depending on how much they're doing. I think how big your company is, how much is really involved. So, I mean, you could probably, depending on how much time, I guess, you're willing to spend to have them working on your page per day. You could probably pay someone, maybe $200 a day, or maybe $50 a day. I'm not really sure. You're probably just going to have to kind of do some research and see what's out there. And like I said, it kind of depends on your budget, how much you want to pay, how much you can afford, and how much time that you want them to actually spend on your page.
Okay, great. Deb is asking, if you have more than one business, should you have Facebook pages for each of those businesses?
Well, if they're really separate businesses, I mean, if they're in separate categories, it's probably not a bad idea, although I know it's certainly going to make more work for you to have to be managing 3 different pages, for instance. Maybe the way to do it, I mean, depending if it's something that maybe they're related, this might be how you can make use of having different tabs, because then maybe you can have one tab that's kind of devoted to one area and something devoted to another. I haven't really seen that, but I mean, it doesn't mean you can't try it. You could certainly try it, and if it's finds that it's too confusing, you've got to keep in mind, is it going to be useful for your audience or the potential customers that you want? So if not, then give it a try, and then if it does prove to be too confusing, then you might have to split it up.
Yeah, I would say split it up, and then you have it's a lot of information, what you said, for you to enter all that, but that's where you hire somebody, a page administrator, somebody to do that for you.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see. There's a ton of good questions. Okay. Brandon, and oh no, here's next. This seems great for companies with lots of followers. This is Robin. How do you gain followers when you're first starting out with the Facebook fan page? I think that's a great question.
Okay. Well, the first thing to do is, count on your friends. Ask your friends to either to like your page, and then ask them to recommend your page to other people. That's again, this is social networking. And but I do have some other ideas though too. Is what you want to do is try to promote your page wherever you can. So if you've got a website, put one of those little Facebook like plugins on there on your website. You can find them on Facebook, and put that on your website. Put a Facebook link on your added to like your email signature. If you do a newsletter, make sure you've got the link on your newsletter. If you have put the address of your page on, or at least like find me on Facebook or something, on your business card, and just tell people anytime you can that I've got a Facebook page. I'd really like you to check it out. And it's just a matter of doing that, and then again start being consistent about putting putting information on there all the time, and eventually it should, you know, start to kind of grow organically for you. But also doing like contests and things like that, that's another way to really get a lot of buzz going.
Yeah, people get going on that one. I have Brandon with a good question too. I own a distributorship in a company that is very protective of its logos and images. As a result, I'm limited in using the company name, logos, etc. on my own websites. How can I build a Facebook page for my business?
That's a challenge. Yeah, I have heard about that with some different companies. I guess what you're going to have to do is try to be a little bit more creative, I suppose, and you know, try to come up with a way of talking about the product without referring to it directly. I mean, I guess, you know, maybe just you might want to maybe just put your picture, you know, as opposed to a logo, so people know it's you, and then just kind of talk about the, you know, the product that you sell. And you know, I'm not really, you know, I apologize, I'm not really sure about that one. I'd have to do some more research, but yeah, that's definitely a puzzle.
It's a tricky one.
How you can get around that. Have you? I would say is I would even put it back to the company and ask them and for any ideas, because say, hey, you know, you're putting me in a bind. I can't advertise, and yet you want me to market your product. So give me some ideas here on how I can best utilize this resource. And maybe, you know, if you know other people in the same boat, you know, I'm sure you network with other people using that product. Maybe if enough people start bugging them about it, maybe they'll loosen the restrictions a little bit.
Yeah, I know the company he's talking about, and they're very strict for legal reasons with that kind of stuff, so that's hard. I have Tony who has her hand raised. I'm going to unmute. Okay, Tony, are you there?
I'm here.
I hear an echo.
Yeah. Might be the volume might be too high or something.
I'm on my cell phone.
Oh, that's probably it. Well, go ahead. We'll try.
I posted the question.
Okay, you know,
oh, here. Something about
this. Yeah, this is.
Oh, are there sites where you can get help in setting up tabs? Was that it?
I think so, yes.
Yeah, I think so. Someone who can walk you through it. Okay. Yeah, there's actually, funny you should mention that, is that, oops, I forgot to change my screen here, is that you can definitely, you know, you can get help. I can help you out, and might as well jump to this right now while I still have a couple minutes. Is I'm actually going to be holding doing a couple of workshops where I'll deal exactly with that type of thing. I'm doing. I'll kind of go through this first and just see. So I lost my train of thought here. So I'm going to be offering two 45-minute workshops in November. I don't have the dates yet, but I'll get that for you. But the first one is going to deal with customization, and you'll learn how to install like the static FBML app. You'll learn some basic codes so that you can put text and photos and videos on your welcome tab, and also learn how, you know, to set up other tabs for your Facebook page. And you'll learn about you know, how to use Facebook Insights, which is a great tool where it tells you, you know, who is actually visiting your page, and it helps you to measure the return on investment that we want from it. And then the other workshop is going to deal with advertising. So you'll learn the differences between cost per click and cost per impression, and trying to decide how you want to be charged for your ad. And you learn how to, you know, target your audience and some best practices for creating your ad. So these are going to be, they're $35 each or $50 for both. And if you just want someone to just come in and do stuff for you, you know, then I'm also offering what I'm calling like a Facebook page analysis, where I'll come in, I'll look at your page, you know, and I'll talk with you. I'll suggest content, maybe different business apps. I can create a custom tab for you, and again, I'll go over using Facebook Insights and even setting up Hootsuite or TweetDeck accounts if you want. So these are a couple options for you. Like I said, I don't have the dates on the workshops yet. I'm still getting that set up. But if you email me, I'll be able to get you some information on that. But otherwise, you know, like I said, if you want, that tab site is an application that you can use maybe to put a couple different tabs on there. But definitely, you know, if you want to call me later or, you know, send me an email, and I can even kind of help you, walk you through that a little bit too.
I just want to, there's a really good question related to this page, Gloria, from Alan. He's saying that the workshops are great, but what about actually taking over the day-to-day functionalities of the pre-existing Facebook pages or content, adding apps and actually customizing it? So I think what he's meaning that you take over that part of the work.
Okay.
Yeah.
How would that work? Well, yeah. I'm certainly open to that as well. So I would say if, you know, what I would want to do is, you know, kind of talk over with the client and figure out, you know, exactly how much you want done with it, and then I can kind of, you know, then I'd rather do a kind of customized package for you, and depending, you know, how much that would be, and if it's something that you want me to start handling every day, you know, then I'll come up with that. I'll have to get in touch with you later. If you can contact me and we can talk about that at a later time, I'd be happy to help you out.
Awesome. I know I learned a lot today.
Well, thanks. I hope everybody did. And, you know, again, you know, feel free to, you know, visit my website, go to my Facebook page, because I really do try to, share a lot of different articles and resources, and I actually just started my own discussions tab, so if you have any questions, please feel free to post them on there, and I'll be happy to help you out with it. And I really do, you know, I'm glad everybody was able to join us today, and, you know, hopefully you've learned something that you can put to use on your own Facebook page and start getting some more followers and getting some more business from it. So I think with that, we can go enjoy your lunch if it's lunchtime, and depending if you're in a different part of the country, I'm not sure who we had from wherever, but enjoy the rest of your day, and I really thank you for being on the webinar today.